Kenyans are angry at their president. Last year, thousands of young Kenyans hit the streets in protest at the rising cost of living and a controversial finance bill put forward by President William Ruto. The government's response? A violent crackdown that left dozens dead and sent shockwaves throughout the country. And while the president ultimately backtracked and withdrew the bill,
I have this to say to Kenyans. I have heard you, and I have heard you clearly.
many claim that his government continues to stifle dissent and is behind a spate of abductions that have targeted Ruto's critics. My guest tonight is Kimani Ichungwa, Majority Leader of the Kenyan National Assembly. He's been in Parliament for more than a decade, is a close ally of President Ruto, and has been a staunch defender of the president's policies. I'm Mehdi Hassan, and tonight I'll go head-to-head with Kimani Ichungwa. I'll challenge him on his government's brutal crackdown on protesters, on rampant corruption, and on whether President Ruto is really the leader Kenyans want. I'll also be joined by three experts: Owino Okech, Professor of Feminist and Security Studies at University of London SOAS, Irungu Houghton, Executive Director of Amnesty International Kenya, and Moses Langat, Kenyan community leader in the diaspora based in the UK. Kimani Ichungwa, thank you so much for joining me here on Head to Head. You are the majority leader in the Kenyan National Assembly. You are a close ally and supporter of President William Ruto, who is super unpopular right now because he and you and your party haven't delivered for the people of Kenya. Your 2022 election manifesto made 281 promises. Can you tell our audience tonight how many of those have been fulfilled over the last 2.5 years?
True, as you say. The perception out there is that the administration is quite unpopular, nothing uncharacteristic of any administration 2 years after an election, especially an administration that came into office in the backdrop of a very dilapidated economy with very many promises, as you said, but I can assure you that will change in due course. The implementation of a manifesto is page by page, chapter after chapter.
But you haven't implemented it. That's the problem.
It is being implemented.
How many of the 281 promises have been implemented?
I'll not give you a straight answer of 2 or 10 or 200, but I'll tell you.
You're the first politician who said to me, I will not give you a straight answer, just bluntly. I can give you an answer. I've got the answer. It's 14 out of 281 promises. That means 95% of your promises have not been met 2.5 years in.
That is your number, Mehdi, not my number.
It's not my number. It's the number of Mizalendo, a non-partisan parliamentary monitoring organization in Kenya that tracks all parties. They're saying 14 out of 281. I mean, we can run through some of them. President Ruto said he would give free internet and phone calls to Kenyans. He hasn't. He said he would start an inquiry into cronyism. He has not. He said he would ratify the International Convention Against Enforced Disappearances. He has not. I could go on and on. Kenyans are frustrated because they were lied to during the election campaign.
Well, Mehdi, as I told you, that is the perspective of Mzalendo. And that is the attack.
Well, has he ratified the International Convention Against Enforced Disappearances?
We have ratified very many international conventions.
But has he ratified the International Convention Against Enforced? He said he would do it straight as he comes to power. It's been 2.5 years. He could do it with a stroke of his pen. Why has he not done it?
He